Hello guys, welcome to MacShrimp Tanks. I thought today we'd do something a little bit different. I don't have a video planned for this week, right? So I thought we'd do something just like very casually where I would show you guys what I do daily when I come into the shrimp room, right? So today is water change day. This is when I normally do my Neocaridina water changes. And the way I do it, guys, is it's always the same, right? If my back is not too bad, I do what I can, and if it gets worse, I stop and I come back to it later, right? So if there's differences in the way the lighting is in the room through the windows, that will be why, right? So keep that in mind when you're watching this video today. I'm more or less just going to walk around the room, enjoying my coffee, looking at the tanks, wondering what I'm going to do today. I said about doing water changes. I will probably, as I said, do some of the Neocaridina tanks. And maybe just speak a lot of crap, because that's what I do. So first, I think we'll just have a look at the tanks, because I think it's worth us just blithering for a little bit. I don't know what I'm going to call this type of video. Into the shrimp room, something like that. Hopefully the light isn't too bad under my face. Is that better? Into the shrimp room with MacShrimp Tanks, just a daily, not like a vlog, because I don't really fancy doing the blog type things, because my room is tiny. Can you imagine trying to do a vlog, video log of this every single day? On day 50, we're feeding the shrimp again. It's not going to be that kind of thing. So let's pick you up. And that's the way we're going to film it as well. If there's any breaks in me talking, that is because sometimes this little bloody machine here called the GoPro, I want to see if it turns off. No. Please don't do that. Sometimes it's a little bit temperamental. Sometimes it understands my Scottish. And other times it doesn't. I'm left swearing at the camera. GoPro. Right, so bear that in mind. If you see sudden stops and then starts again, that is what it is. The other thing, guys, as well, is I've been working like a mother effer on my website recently. And it's coming along very nicely. I have a few people helping me with some things in it as well, like posts and getting all the grammar correct and spelling and all that good stuff, right? So please check the links in the description for links to markshrimptanks.com, because it is worth me doing my website. I've looked at the analytics. I get 300, 400, 500 views every single day on that website, right? So it is worth me continuing to build it and improving on it. So sort of blah blah, right? You guys will know what I mean. It's a good website for information. What was the other things? Let me see. Oh, news today was as well. You might have noticed on the same website that I'm removing my Amazon links. Gotta love a copy in the morning. I'm removing my Amazon links because today they announced that they have slashed affiliate marketing fees by 50%. Right, just to give you a rough idea, right? If you were to go on my website before and click on something, just say it was a reverse osmosis unit, I would have gotten something. If you bought the thing, I would have gotten something like 1 to 3% of that value of that item, right? So just say it was $100, I would have gotten between $1 and $3 for putting a sale their way for a $100 reverse osmosis unit, right? So they have screwed people over dramatically. Remember that word, my famous word? Dramatically. They've screwed people over dramatically, right? So I'm no longer going to put their things and links on my website, right? So you'll see that as well. I'm not sure how I'm going to do the posts that are recommended posts. They will still be recommended posts, but you'll have to find links yourself, because I'll have to remove them. I'm not going to give them free advertising, guys, when they won't pay a decent fee for people that do. Makes sense. Got to use the old noggin. Got to use the old brain stock. The other thing, guys, as well is in the video logs you will see things like me talking about things I see daily, like in my Facebook group and etc. Again, links in the description. One of the things I saw today was people asking about ferts, right? Fertilizers. I used to use orchid fertilizers, right? But I stopped using it because you see I can't say certain words, and Mr. GoPro here. Right, so we have to keep that in mind when we're recording. The Mr. GoPro might So people were talking about ferts, and I've used a lot of different ferts over the years. I've used Tropica ferts, I've used the light version of Tropica ferts. Those ones seem to be okay. The difference between some of them have nitrates and phosphates, and some of them don't. Right, and that is the difference in a lot of them. And people were talking about this today, and this is no bash on Corey from Aquarium Co-op, right? But his Easy Green, I do believe his fert is called. It is labelled as shrimp safe, but it has nitrates in it, right? And guys, I don't really think you should be adding nitrates to a tank. Proof is in the pudding, isn't it? It's really in the pudding. Look at my tanks. They're absolutely bursting at the seams with plants. I've never been able to grow moss ever before in my life until I started dosing iron. Look how much moss I have. It's like this much of a big ball of moss in that tank there. It's actually growing out the water. I did it again. See this thing with voice commands? It's actually grown into a big ball here as well. You'll see that in a second. We'll go over all the tanks, all the subwasser tank, and you'll just see what I mean. Are nitrates needed in a shrimp tank? I can't say certain words. Right, so, and again, guys, that's not a bash against Corey from Aquarium Co-op. I'm just giving you my opinion on it, right? Let's look over the tanks, show you some projects as well. My lovely plants are growing nicely up here. I know you guys like orchids and nepenthes and all that kind of stuff too, right? We'll have a little look in the cull tub too. Here's my coffee. The Sulawesi tanks had a little bit of a change as well, so we'll have a look at that too. Let's just get started. Oh, my voice. Let's just get started. Right, so I'm going to pick you up, guys. Camera will be a little bit shaky because we're going for the vlog style today, right? So let's have a little look. Wow, who is that sexy mother over here? Let me see, I have to pick you up because you're immensely, dramatically very small. Your little midget mother effers. Right, let's see. Not Sulawesi, Upu'uli. This had a little bit of a change in the last week. This is the Rob Iota Upu'uli tank, and I call it that because Rob Iota actually paid for this tank. He paid $60, kind of like a sponsored thing, and it enabled me to buy this tank. Right, this tank has been up and running for a long time, something like 10 months, and you can see. Look at the lack of shrimp, and it's not because the shrimp are dead. It's because they are still in hiding mode after all this time, right? So I've been through all the ways that I've seen on YouTube and other people have recommended to me to try and get these little buggers to be more active and come out and breed and all that kind of thing, right? And it's just not working so far, right? So I've decided to go the opposite way. I've actually introduced a filter at the back here. You'll see this when we go around the other side. This was the big Aqua L filter that I had over here. The thing I like about this, guys, is I'm able to put on a trickle. You can see it just there on the edge. See the filtration, the amount of water that's coming out, and that filter is huge, and you can see the volume of water, right? So this is cleaning the water really, really well. I've actually got Purigen in there too. So I'm hoping that, you know, with a little bit more filtration, slow filtration like this, where it's the trickle type, with the Purigen in there, the water will become super, super clean for them, and we might see something happening from then on. From then on in, you get the drift. Alright, so fingers crossed in the Rob Iota thingamajig tank. All these tanks are sponsored, by the way. If you watch my live streams, you will see why. Click on the membership thing below if you want to become a member of the shrimp farm. This is the Sulawesi tank, and it's looking really good now. I've added a piece of apple branch to this the other day. This was well seasoned, this branch as well. Looking good. I did put a pack of Purigen in the back of this because the water did go a little bit brown with tannins, and I don't really like to see that in a hard water tank. Blue Dream tank is literally busting with baby shrimplets. It's the same with the green jades as well. This tank is a little bit behind that one there, but they're almost the same. You can see sand on the base. So wasser tank, pot mini, double sponge filter mud, soaching oxidator, crushed coral in the back. That is a key to this type of tank. These guys have had lots and lots of babies. They might not come out on this camera because this camera is only good from a certain distance. You can see them here. See all the babies? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they're all over the tank in here, all these little babies, right? So that is working really well. I might have to adjust the camera a wee bit here because I'm lifting you on the stand, guys, and it's bashing my legs and everything, right? So this is the Texarkana tank. It's doing good. Look at this plant growth. This is a wasser tank and a hard water tank, and it's growing lovely. I could actually see lots of little baby crayfish. Yeah, there's another one, see it? Little thing floating around. Hopefully you can see some of this because GoPro is never the best for this kind of shot. This little vase thing, I did do an improvement to this the other day because I did notice that the Sunset High Grow is growing very nice in here, don't you think? We might add a light to this. I actually do have one for this tank that will hang from above on a chain, just kind of like above it, because Sunset High Grow is very nice when it's red. You can see this is very green, right? So the difference, guys, in my plants, I probably mentioned this to you, different streams, different videos and whatnot, is I've been dosing iron, and it seems to have made a big difference. It's made a dramatically big improvement in my plants in the aquariums, right? So new RO container, you've probably all seen that as well. Let's go over here first before we go onto that tank. This is the Fancy Crystal tank, the Brett Hilson Fancy Crystal tank. I'm sorry, guys, if I can't remember all your names of the people that sponsor my tanks, because I'm doing it just off the cuff, right? So these guys are, they've been breeding in here. There's babies, but they're very, very hard to see. But the tank is doing amazingly good. Look how full the plants are. Again, dosing iron. Very, very easy to do. We'll probably do the video on the iron as well. Another new tank here, over in the corner, that's still to get shrimp. We might be getting boas, but until we do, I'm not going to hold my chickens. Boas are a type of tie-tie bee. You guys will know what they look like. Orange eye blue tiger tank. You can see them all chilling on top of the brick there, next to the Soching oxidator. This one is a new one as well, but this one is a wee bit cloudy. It's only went cloudy in the last week. This one is over 2 months old now, this new tank here, so once that cloudiness goes away, we'll be getting shrimp in there. This one's the same, it's had been up and running for 2+ months. This is where the orange eye blue tigers used to be in here, and the only thing I've done is I've reduced the TDS in the tank, so it's back to a soft water tank. I'm not sure what I'm going to put in there. Tangerine tigers doing awesomely good. This tank is my painted, what are they called? Red zebra pintos. Crystal cherries, cherry crystals, cherry shrimp in that tank. Cull tub, the Dennis. No, it's actually called the Tater Salad Rehoming Centre now. We're not going to call it the cull tub, my bad. And you can tell, guys, as well, look at that picture. You can tell, guys, as well, right, I am dosing iron, right? If you look at any other of the thumbnails, this could be a thumbnail for this tank. I don't know why it's so dull, actually, on this side. We'll have to check this light to make sure it's working properly. Or it's just maybe the plant growth rate. This will probably be the thumbnail, because it looks really cool. You will probably have seen other videos of me looking at the cull. Oh my god, I keep on saying the wrong thing all the time. The rehoming centre for shrimp, the Tater Salad. Tater Salad is one of my subscribers, and I've been dosing this with iron as well. Look how much it's grown. Lots and lots and lots. I actually thought this plant here was dead. This is my Indian almond tree. Looks very dead, doesn't it, guys? But look. Yes. Come back to me, my sweet love. This plant is 6 years old, and it's died like 3 times, and every time it comes back again. Let's have a little look over here. Starting the bottom, starting the buttocks. These guys are making a nice comeback as well. These are the blue lilies. Lots of berries. I actually do see young frying here again, little young shrimplets. Guys, the issue I had with this tank last year was I sold too many of them, right? And then, I don't know what it was, they just didn't do much for the whole winter, basically. And now they've come back again. Blue steels, blue bolt type things in here. They have kind of stopped breeding altogether. I don't see anything wrong with the tank, it's just that a lot of the shrimp are not really growing that much, as where the one next to it here has the opposite problem. This has been hard culled quite a few times. One of the big girls at the back, just here. If I point here long enough, you might see her. She's over here, just behind those alder cones. These are the red version of King Kongs. They're called ruby reds. So you have wine reds are the ones that look like a red panda. Then you have ruby reds, which are red King Kongs. So that is this tank. The big girl I'm talking about, by the way, at the back here is buried red. So this tank is all, mostly, it's like 95% red King Kongs. I think there's like 2 or 3 wine reds mixed in here that will be moved to another tank as well. That's why these other tanks are set up here, because I have so many shrimp I want to breed into specific ways that we've had to set up other tanks, right? So this girl will be having her babies soon. This was the Galaxy tank, which has been reduced to almost nothing, so you probably won't see anything in here. It's been reduced to about 5 or 6 shrimp. You could just see one of them here. There's one in the brick at the back there. And guys, I hard culled this so hard that there's only shrimp in here that have Galaxy markings on them. And so these ones will grow, hopefully they'll breed. You get the gist. So this last tank down here might be a little bit hard to see because I actually have the stand for this camera fully open. Right, so I'm going to bash off the washing machine, all that kind of good stuff at the behind. Mega big Marissa snails. They cut all the babies on the filter. This tank is by far the best tank in the room for just the sheer amount of shrimp in the tank. Guesstimates, I would probably say there's a couple of, I was going to say a couple of hundred, but there's probably a couple of hundred just in this little bit here, right? So it gives you an idea of the amount of shrimp in here. You can see like all the little babies flying around, swimming in the middle. Isn't it cool? Marissa snails eat most of the plants, guys, so it's better if you have something you know they won't eat. Just so happens that they won't really touch the sawasser either that or the sawasser is not good for them to eat. God knows. You've got all the shrimp on there. Isn't that nice? Okay, so let's get up. We're going to do some water changes into my tanks. Oh. I'm going to do some water changes. Hopefully you're still tall enough that you can see me if I come around the front. Whew. And you'll see what I mean, guys, when I'm saying about this, me having this Graves' disease and stuff. That has literally exhausted me. Just that little tour walking around like that. I mean, I do a lot of walking with Lucy, but the main issue I have is going from down the way to up the way. Down. You guys with dirty minds. Right guys, before we get over there to do the actual water change, we should actually prepare the water. Maybe that's what we should do, Mark, you know, use the noggin, prepare the water first. This reverse osmosis water has been sitting here since yesterday, because I've been doing water changes almost regularly every day on some of the Neo tanks. So this is filled up again. The pump isn't on, is it? Sometimes I forget to turn the pump on, right? So it's better to have the pump on as well because it heats up the water slightly, right? So I have a little temperature gauge in here. And guys, it's good to have a glass thermometer in the tanks for this reason alone, right? You have the little green line that you get on thermometers. You can see it in the middle there, you see it? I think this is a good indicator to see if your water is warm enough. If it's within that green band, you see it? So for us, we are at 22 degrees Celsius, which is perfect. Perfect, right? So we don't have to do anything with temperature for this. If you did want to do something with the temperature for this, if the bucket was too cold, because sometimes it is, what I do, guys, is I fill up things like bottles like this, hot water straight from the tap, dunk it in, go away, have coffee, whatever. And by the time you come back, your tub will be a few degrees warmer. The other thing I use is stuff like this. This is why you see that like this is shrunken in on the side, because I actually do use this one more than the other one. Fill this 5 litre container up with hot water, and from hours a tap, I think it's something like 70 degrees Celsius at the hottest. Put it in here, go away, as I said, go do your thing. Come back and you're golden. The next thing that we would do is we would check the TDS. It's been water change water in here before, right? So you're going to have residual, dramatically residual. You're going to have residual amounts of salt still in here, right? So when you test it, you will have a reading because there was water in here before, right? So this says 10 parts per million, but there's so much that sits in the bottom of this that I can't empty without tipping the whole thing, right? So 10 parts per million is what we have to work with there. We have our salty mineral GH KH plus, and guys, I already know how much to put in here, just off the top of my head, because I do this really regularly, right? So for this size of tub, I think this one's about 50 litres according to the amount of water I put in tanks when I do water changes. I think it's about 50 litres, right? So for this amount of water, we need 6 scoops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, so that will give me a TDS between 180 and 210 probably at the most, right? So we'll measure that as well, just so you know I'm not just bullshitting you. Put your lid on, give it a stir with your dramatically increased stirrer that's still to dramatically be increased because bigger tub. Give it a stir. We do have a circulation pump in here, as I said, but I'd like to just stir it like this. Get it stirred up much faster. My back is a little bit sore because I was walking Lucy yesterday and she was pulling like crazy and it was jerking my back. So we'll do a few tanks today. We'll do a few. I have to do them as well because once we take water out of this tub, it starts filling back up again. Unless I turn it off at the wall, it starts filling up again. Okay, so let's empty this container. Let's measure it first. 177, 171, 179, let's see. 181. So our goal is between 100 and, what did I say, 117, or was it 180 and 210, something like that. So this is high enough. It's high enough for me not to bother changing anything dramatically. Right, so when you're doing your TDS stuff, when it's this volume of water, just go for a ballpark range. You Americans will know what I'm talking about, like a ballpark. It doesn't have to be an exact number all the time. Ballpark. You think in the wild there's like something in the clouds like, oh, I'm going to measure this certain amount of rain that's to hit that rock to give it a certain TDS to go down the stream, and then the shrimp are going, yeah, that's perfect TDS, you mother. No, it doesn't work like that, does it? So just go for general ballpark numbers. We'll let that sit just for a second. We're going to empty the tanks right now. We're going to empty them right. Let's get a bucket. We'll probably do 2 tanks on camera. Mr. GoPro decided he didn't want to record that part, so we're probably going to do 2 tanks. Mr. GoPro is like deciding he doesn't want to film this part. Right, so we're going to fill this bucket here with water. I'm just checking to see you're still recording there. And then we'll fill this up with that water there. And I'll show you the iron dosing at the same time, right? So come on you mother effers. If you see the family walking around here, it's because we live in a naked society here in Norway. You can see them all behind me. You see them? You see them in the reflection? They're dumbasses, all of them. They'll probably come in here, oh, we didn't know you were recording. We didn't know you were recording. Okay, so we take out 10% each of the tanks here. If you hear me smashing the microphone with this cable, I do apologise. So 10% in each of these tanks is 4 or 5 litres. Let me change arms so you can see my beautiful face. It's 4 or 5 litres in each tank. And it goes quite fast when you're doing it like this, guys, right? So the way I do it is, once it goes to 5 litres in the bucket, it's almost at 5 litres already, I use my thumb to cover the end like this, right? And this will hold the siphon in this tube. give your little bit that's in the first tank a little shake, because sometimes the shrimp will stick to it. They'll want to go with the flow kind of thing. Put it in the other tank. Let's start at the south again until we get to 10 litres now. This lovely big bits of water tank flowing around there. And so this will go to 10 litres. We'll fill the water back up, and it's a good way for you guys to see how fast the water fills up too, because I don't drip acclimate water into my tanks when it's reverse osmosis water, because we've just ensured that the parameters are pretty near what we want. There you go, there's 10 already. There's 5 litres in each tank. Right, so let's get this crap out the way. Oh, this is the problem I have here. My back is... I have a problem going from crouching down to standing. Oh, hairy mother bollocks. Right, but the reason, guys, I do it this way, the reason I do it this way, where I'm forcing myself to move like this, you can see quite clearly how much it's affecting my back, is because if I don't do this, oh God, if I don't do this, moderate exercise every day, I more or less become a vegetable. I don't mean mentally, I mean like physically, like the muscles shorten and I struggle to move, all that kind of stuff, right? So I don't want to bore you guys with this kind of thing, right? But it's just the way I am. If you're going to watch me on this vlog-esque type thing, welcome to the shrimp room. And next we're going to grab this big hose. Hope you can, not that, this one. There's a little off switch, like that. And I like to just walk with like this over here. I'm not sure how much you're going to see of this, guys, because I'm not the best at filming with one hand. Oh God, it doesn't reach. Oh, it does reach. I'm just pulling your leg. Right, so into the tank we go, and I'm going to try and hold it so you can see. Full speed, straight in, full speed, you can see it. And it literally takes probably not even a minute to fill up. Let me just make sure that you guys can see. You can see. You can. It doesn't even take a minute to fill up. And I found by doing this, guys, I'm having far more breeding success with Neocaridina doing water changes this way. Right, and I think it's due to a lot of reasons. I'm probably removing things that inhibit growth, like excess nitrates, other things in here, the compounds I can't even measure, right? So it's almost full already. What I do is I always go to the line of the Pat Mini filter, the top, the head of it, to know that it's full in all my tanks. That's how I know the water level for sure, right? So it is almost full. That's how quickly it takes to fill up 5 litres again. You can see here. Turn it off, next tank, put it in, full speed. I ain't got time to waste, Moffies. I ain't got time to waste. Let me bring you over here. So guys, I hope you're enjoying this little bit of a different video. Look at this water tank. Isn't that beautiful? It's growing really well in here since we've been starting to do this change and the way we've been doing things with the Neocaridina tanks. Really beautiful. It's actually floating as well, probably due to the amount of bubbles in here. But you can see all the snails, how healthy they are with full shells. Lots and lots of shrimp. I don't know if you can see down there. Oh, you can. The GoPro. I don't know, like the fisheye effect on it must be quite wide. It's full already, this one. Let's close it. No drips. No drips, please. No drips, please. We're British. Right, so we're going to go over here. Normally, I would do all the Neocaridina tanks the same. In here, but so I will do these after. The reason I'm hurrying a little bit, guys, as well, is because I see this is only on like 1 bar left, and I want to film so you guys can actually see what I do just typically. Right, so that'd be one part of the day. I would go back and do all the rest of the things. Right, so we have our iron here, iron supplement. Let me just quickly grab the packet. I will do another video on this, right? This is just quickly to explain what this is. This is iron. This is the 8% one. There's two different types. You have EDTA shielded 87%. This is DTPA shielded 92%. And the reason I have two packets, guys, is I can't remember exactly which order this is in, right? But one works better in soft water, one works better in hard water. I think I did that right. I think it's the EDTA that works better in hard water, right? So that's what we've been using in our Neocaridina tanks. The dose for this is 4 grams of this powder in here in 500 ml of water. Right? I put that into this container here, right? And then you give it a mix and it gives you this iron coloured fluid like this. Iron brew. I wonder if I could use iron brew in a shrimp tank, maybe. And then you use a little cap like this. I wonder if we can do it on this side here, just because that'd be a nice wee thing to see. Let me just see if you can see first the wee cap bollock. And so give it a little stir like this, and then it's up to you how you deliver it into the tank. Right? I just do it through this little cap because it's easier for me to walk around the room and stuff. I use a pipette, and guys, the dose on this, right, is 1 ml solution per 100 litres of tank water gives you a concentration of 0.01 parts per million ferrous, which is iron, right? So I do 1 ml per 50 litre tank, right? So that gives me a dose of 0.02. You're just doubling the dose, right? So I've had a lot of luck doing it this way. I've been doing this for about 3 months. I will leave a link to this in probably the first comment. I'm always changing the description, but the first comment I never change. I'll leave a link to this stuff in the first comment. I'm not anything to do with these guys either, right? But I like the product. This is one of my subscribers recommended me this stuff as well because he was having tons of luck as well. I did a video a long time ago. He saw it, then he bought this stuff, and then I saw that he bought this stuff, and it works really well. Right, so you have your 1 ml pipette. Let me grab it. 1 ml pipette. From there to there is 1 ml. Right, so we grab our thingamajig. 1 ml. You see it? 1 ml. I go over to my tank, right, and I do this every day in this tank, guys. Every day. Every day. 1 ml. You see it? Back in. 1 ml back into the tank. And then I go over. I should have brought that stuff over here so you can see my beautiful face again. 1 ml. You guys are like, wow, the camera work is so amazing. 1 ml. Some of you are like, oh, he's going to knock that into the big aquarium. 1 ml into this tank. Right, and guys, regardless of the water change times as well. Let me put you down over here again. Regardless of what tanks I'm water changing, and I mean this like this, I mean regardless of what type, not what tanks, what type. Neocaridina tanks, I'm doing them every single day. I know a lot of you guys can't do them every day. My bee shrimp tanks, I don't think it's plausible to do them every day because we have an active soil in there, right? And if you did them every day, you'd lose the buffering capacity of the soil, right? So it doesn't make sense to try and do water changes in a bee tank like this with active soil constantly. You would ruin your soil within a year, kind of thing, or sooner, probably 6 months or something like that. Hey, but what it does allow us to do is we can still dose iron into these tanks, right? So, bee shrimp tank here. A lot of you guys have always asked me, Mark, how is your plant so green? How do you grow your Sawasa tank so much compared to other people? This might be part of it. This might be part of the reason, right? So, I do a big tank like this. This is 140 litre this tank. I put 3 ml in. Remember we used that little rule of 1 ml per 50 litres. It's 140, right? So just roughly 140 ml. I don't think you can overdose this either. It is the only fur I'm currently using as well, guys, right? So you can see all over my room I have plants that are thriving in all my tanks. I have moss in this tank. Let me show you. Let me show you. I have moss growing out of the Sawasa tank that I've never even seen ever in my life before. Ever. Let's have a little look at this moss ball. Remember, Mark can't grow moss. I can't grow moss. Look at the size of that. That's bigger than my fist. And I can't grow moss. It's actually growing up the side of the glass. You see it? So there you are. That's what I've been up to today. In the shrimp room. Oh, can I breathe? Can I have my coffee? Can I have my coffee back, please? That's what I've been up to today in the shrimp room. I don't think I will do anything more than that today. I'll probably just continue doing some of the water changes. Oh God, finish my coffee, say hello to the wife because she's just back from the shopping. And guys, I wanted to say stay healthy, like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. Please check out my live streams on a Monday, which is 7 p.m. GMTV. I think it's moved to GMTV. God. What's it called? Greenwich Mean Time. GMT, not GMTV. Greenwich Mean Time +1. I don't know what that is for you Americans and other peeps in the world, right? So have a safe day today, stay healthy, keep your distance from people. And you never know, we might do another video like this. Let me know in the comment section below if you would love to see it. Alright, because it's been different. Take it away, guys. Take it away, Patreonies. Catch you in the next one. Happy shrimp game, guys. GoPro, stop recording.